Welcome to another installment of our health series, sponsored by the Aruka Seventh-day Adventist Health Ministries Department 2021. Today, we will be looking at lifestyle changes and cardiovascular disease. I am your presenter, Alicia Charles Thomas. Our objectives for today are to explain the importance of lifestyle changes in managing cardiovascular disease and to discuss some lifestyle changes which can prevent or manage cardiovascular disease. Some preventative measures we need to look at are dietary changes, stress management, management of hypertension, physical exercise, and regular health checks. We'll delve deeper into these as we move along in today's presentation. The American Heart Association advocates that everyone should eat a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, eat whole grains and products made up mostly of whole grains, look at healthy sources of protein, mostly plants such as legumes and nuts, fish and seafood, low fat or non-fat dairy, and if you eat meat or poultry, ensure it is lean and unprocessed meat. Liquid, non-tropical vegetable oils. We speak about that as we go along today as well. Minimally processed foods, minimize intake of added sugar, foods prepared with little or no salt, and limited or preferably no alcohol intake. Of our overall healthy diet, we must ensure that we have a healthy diet on a daily basis. Our healthy dietary patterns are associated with substantial reduction of a risk for cardiovascular disease, risk factors of cardiovascular disease, and also contribute to a healthy lifestyle, which can also promote the reduction of non-cardiovascular diseases as well. So you want to focus on improving your entire diet and not part of your diet only. So sometimes we want to say, okay, we will not be eating any snacks or sugars, but if we look at your entire dietary pattern, even the foods that you eat at lunchtime or dinner time, they contain unhealthy products. So you want to look at a healthy body weight. And we dealt with obesity in our last series. So just to refresh your memory, obesity is an independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease. And if you recall our last series, we spoke extensively of how obesity contributes to a lot of our chronic diseases. You want to increase your LDL, triglycerides, and you want to make sure that your blood pressure is low, and you want to decrease any bad cholesterol. Maintain a healthy BMI, and that would be between 18.5 to 24.9 kg per meter square. You want to also ensure that you have a low calorie diet. So between 1,000 to 1,200 per day for most women, and between 12,000 to 16,000 per day for most men. So it may vary depending on your BMI. You want to ensure that you have a very low calorie diet, providing less than 800 calories per day is not recommended. So yes, you want to keep your calories low, but you should not go below 800 calories per day. This is bordering on unhealthy lifestyle as well. So some dietary changes you want to make sure that you engage in are, so your dietary habits directly affect the cardiovascular system in the human body. That plays a major role in our cardiovascular system. So you want to make sure that your diet plan to be followed by an individual to have a healthy heart. And this includes a Mediterranean diet, like a DASH diet. So you want to encourage high intake of plant-based foods like fruits, vegetables, and grains. And we have lots of fruits and vegetables in the Caribbean, in our country here as well, that we can partake in. You want to replace saturated flat fats such as butter with unsaturated fats like olive oil or salmon oil or any of those healthy oils. And you want to use herb spices instead of salt and flavor foods. Okay? So you want to engage in using our local herbs that you can find in our kitchen garden instead of purchasing salts and salt seasonings to spice up our food. So our dash that has a specific guideline of what we should have as a serving per day. So in terms of whole grains, you want to have 6 to 8 servings of whole grains per day. You want to have 4 to 5 servings of nuts, seeds, and legumes per week. You want to have servings per day of vegetables, between 4 to 5 servings per day of vegetables. You want to have less than 6 servings per day of lean meat or poultry or fish if you engage in eating those items. You want to have less than 6 servings per day of those items. Your servings per day of fruit should be between 4 to 5 servings. Less than 5 servings of sweets per week. And if you can, no sweets at all for the week. You want to have servings per day that are fat-free and low-fat or dairy, between 2 to 3 servings of low-fat dairy products. And 2 to 3 servings per day of fats and oils. All right, so the DASH diet guidelines give you a clear picture of what our diet should look like throughout the day and throughout the week. Now, a major contributor to cardiovascular disease is stress. And we all have stress of some type, may it be physical, emotional, or psychological. So we want to make sure that we deal with any type of stress, because if you continue harboring stress, it contributes a lot to cardiovascular disease. So with stress management, you want to determine the origin of the stress. Where is my stress coming from? Is it physical? Is it emotional? Is it psychological? You want to consider what you can do to control that stress and things that are beyond your control. So things that you can do to control your stress: pray a lot, seek guidance from God, things that you can do to manage your stress as well in your daily life. Try to eliminate some of the things that cause you stress, and what are the things that are not in your control. Try not to deal with those things. And of course, you want to create a plan of how you will manage your stress. For some persons, it's very good for them to write things down. So if you want to write things down to see, how am I going to deal with this stress today? What are the measures I'm going to put in place to handle my stress on a daily basis? You want to engage in self-monitoring. In self-monitoring, persons who like electronic devices, tablets, cell phones, you can keep a log of what you are eating per day, what causes you stress, how you manage your stress. Keep an electronic diary of all those things. You can use a simple pen or paper for charting if you are not into the electronic gadgets. It's because when you do self-monitoring, it helps you to increase your awareness of what you are doing and what you can do to change your lifestyle and eliminate or reduce your chances of cardiovascular disease. It helps you to identify the barriers to changing your behavior, because sometimes we want to change, we really want to change, but then some things intrinsically are preventing us from getting into that change right away. So by identifying our barriers, you can remove those barriers and move on the road to changing your lifestyle. And also through self-monitoring, you can prevent yourself from having a relapse. So a daily reminder in your electronic diary or your pen and paper diary can help you to remember, okay, I ate this yesterday, I should not be eating this, and I can look back at my notes and see how did I overcome this particular stress I had. I use this method and it works well for me. So having a self-monitoring diary will help you to also reduce your chances of developing cardiovascular diseases. You want to ensure that you engage in eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. In this, you can have your micronutrients, your macronutrients, and fiber requirements without adding substantially to energy consumption. We eat a lot of fruit in the Caribbean here. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have lots of fruits in all seasons. But please remember that fruit juice is not equivalent to whole fruit in fiber content. So the fiber you will get from eating your whole fruit as a fruit, you will not get that from drinking a fruit juice. So it's better to eat the fruits and vegetables. You want to look at your preparation techniques that preserve nutrients and fiber content without adding unnecessary calories. So look at how you prepare some of these fruits to preserve them that you want to keep for a little time, how we prepare these fruits and vegetables, and try not to add any calories to your preparation. You want to eliminate foods highest in sugar. Now, persons love to eat yogurt and say, oh, yogurt is very healthy. Yes, it is. But we need to look at the types of yogurts that we are eating. So we have the fruit flavored yogurts that we should stay away from. Salad dressings, stay away from those as well. They are very high in sugar content. 5,946 milligrams of sugar in salad dressing. We have 3,956 milligrams of fructose in fruit flavored yogurt. In sauces such as ketchup or mayonnaise and mustard, you have approximately 19,152 milligrams of fructose in a serving of ketchup and mustard. We have things like cereals, the cornflakes, etc., and that has 200,000 milligrams of sugar content per serving. Any instant foods like instant noodles and those fast food that you get in containers, they have about 1,212 milligrams of fructose per serving in those instant foods. And then we move to granolas. We love to eat granolas and think that granolas are very healthy, but are they really healthy unless you prepare it at home for yourself? You need to look at the sugar content because some granola bars have up to 962 milligrams of fructose in them. So we need to look at the ingredients on these granola bars that we are eating. Fruit juices in the cartons has about 7,000 milligrams of fructose per serving in a fruit juice carton. Also, these sports drinks that some persons engage in drinking, these sports drinks, they have approximately 14,000 milligrams of fructose in a serving. So we need to look at these. When you're purchasing fruit juices, sports drinks, etc., you need to look at the contents to see how much added sugar is in these items. Even digestive biscuits have a lot of fructose. 2,512 milligrams of fructose per serving in digestive biscuits. And then frozen yogurts, we have about 3,000 milligrams of fructose per serving in a frozen yogurt. So when we go into the grocery and want to purchase items, we need to ensure that you look at the ingredients to ensure you are not purchasing foods which are very high in sugar content and detrimental to your cardiovascular system. You want to engage in eating foods which are rich in antioxidants. For example, we have the pomegranate, which we have locally here. Passion fruit is another local fruit that is high in antioxidants. We have prunes that we can buy, bananas, pears, grapes. We have blueberries, kiwis, and all these fruits are very high in and rich in antioxidants. But if you can afford to buy those expensive fruits from abroad, you can simply engage in the local ones we have here, like our bananas, our pomegranates, our prunes, we have passion fruit. So those are very good antioxidant fruits that you can engage in having in your diet on a weekly basis. You want to ensure that you manage your hypertension. For persons who are hypertensive, you want to manage your hypertension. So your hypertension is considered to be one of the major factors for inducing heart diseases. So for the management of hypertension, you want to look at any underlying multifactorial approaches that can be used to reduce your salt intake to 5 grams per day or less. So all the salty foods, try to cook with less salt in your diet as well. Reduce your salt intake. Avoid any sort of alcohol intake as well. That is very bad for hypertension. And you want to ensure you engage in regular physical activities and weight control measures. So for regular physical activities, we want to maintain a proper blood circulation in the body. When you exercise, you achieve a proper blood circulation. It lowers risk of developing other chronic diseases which predispose you to cardiovascular disease, and it also predisposes you to other chronic diseases. So when you exercise regularly, you help to keep your body in rhythm and help to make that blood circulate around the body better. So we can engage in different types of exercises. We all have know our limits. We can engage in jogging, who persons like to cycle, swimming, and brisk walking. So if you do daily, these exercises can help to keep your blood flowing in your body. So it can be a moderate, intense cardio, 30 minutes a day for 5 days per week will be sufficient. Or you can do a vigorously intense cardio, 20 minutes a day, 3 days for the week. Or you can also do 8 to 10 strength training exercises, 8 to 10 repetitions of each exercise per week, which will be sufficient for your weekly exercise routine. You want to ensure you engage in regular health checks. Have your health checks regularly. It helps in early diagnosis of cardiovascular problems, and it also helps in preventing the emergence or spread of cardiovascular diseases. So you need to try to engage in having regular health checks to help detect if we are developing any cardiovascular problems so we can have treatment done sooner rather than later. We want to eliminate the use of tobacco products. Now, most of you may say, well, I don't smoke, but you need to reduce your risk of secondhand smoke as well, because secondhand smoke is very dangerous and can even be more dangerous than the person who's actually smoking tobacco. So you want to remove yourself from any environment where you will be exposed to secondhand smoke. So in all, you want to have a plan and stick to it. Try to make your plan and stick to that plan and that routine so that you can get yourself back to health or prevent yourself from developing any type of cardiovascular disease. And as the Bible admonishes us in 3 John chapter 1 and verse 2, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health, even as thy soul prospereth. So I employ each one of us to try to engage in healthy eating practices, which will help us to have a longer life and reduce our occurrences of ending up with any cardiovascular disease. Thank you for listening.